Pikmin 4 is finally arriving in July. The long-anticipated, near-mythical fourth entry in the series actually exists. We've seen it with our own eyes at the last Nintendo Direct. The trailer was packed with detail, definitely enough to keep the speculation going, but I think it's due time for another look at the game, especially with the release looming in just over 2 months from now. Today, we're running the gamut, talking about new Pikmin types, areas, enemies, control scheme, and just about everything else we could see the next time Pikmin 4 is shown. Let's get right to the point. It's completely 50-50 whether or not we'll get another new Pikmin type in this game, period. On one hand, it seems obvious that we will. In every Pikmin game thus far, we've gotten 2 new species, and at this point, Pikmin 4 has only given us 1. You have to think Nintendo is holding off on showing us the final new type, right? Well, as someone who spends a fair bit of their time drafting up new Pikmin ideas, I know how hard it is to create types that are new and interesting, yet simple enough to actually work within a Pikmin game. A new Pikmin type needs to have a clearly demonstrable and valuable purpose, all without ruining the simplicity that makes Pikmin what it is in the first place. And this is far from an easy task. It's quite possible that the developers feel Ice Pikmin are the only new type this game needs, and for all we know, they could be right. For one thing, if we are getting another new type, don't you think it would feature on the box art along with the Ice Pikmin? Sure, maybe this art is not final, or maybe there's another good reason, like the new type only coming out at night or in caves, so placing it here in daylight wouldn't make any sense, but that's all conjecture. It's anybody's guess right now. In my gut, I still feel like there will be at least one more new one. And unless Nintendo plans to keep it secret until launch, there's a good chance we'll see it revealed in the next trailer. One of the bigger questions I've had since the last trailer dropped is about this game's world. It seems both trailers take place in roughly the same area, what looks like a home garden. From the looks of things, this is a pretty big map, and we've seen several different locations within it. A field, a playground, a sandbox with puddles of water, but interestingly, the trailer doesn't venture off into any outside biomes. If there are other more diverse area types, something every Pikmin game has featured in the past, then we've only so far scratched the surface of Pikmin 4's world. Deserts have always been a big part of the Pikmin franchise. We've also had snow-covered areas, and there's always the possibility of new biomes, perhaps a poisonous swamp or areas with extreme weather conditions, maybe a volcanic area with lava. And what if we were to head indoors? In past games, indoor areas have mostly been relegated to mission and challenge modes. So what if we actually went inside this house during the main story? Seeing an area type completely new to the Pikmin series would no doubt be an exciting moment in a new trailer, and something I'm really looking forward to. I'm also excited to find out the world structure. Will this game have the classic Pikmin world select and force us to choose one area to visit each day? Or will there be a major shakeup? Maybe we didn't see other areas in previous trailers because this is all one interconnected map. Maybe as we explore it and unlock more Pikmin types, we'll be able to access more and more areas within it. So instead of areas being completely segmented off, every area of the map will be accessible if you have the means to reach it. Let's say the snow area is to the north, the desert is to the south, and the swamp is to the east. But it's up to us to explore and find them on our own. If you ask me, that kind of open-world, discovery-oriented gameplay would feel right at home in the Pikmin series, since these games by their very nature revolve around exploring a dangerous and uncharted alien planet. And of course, we can't forget about caves. I love the fact that we have caves back because they allow for more flexibility in environment design. With PNF 404 being inspired by the real-life planet Earth, what's on the surface always needs to maintain some level of realism. But once we head below ground, that sorta goes out the window. Underground bathtub? Sure. A child's toy box? I don't see a problem with that. I know everyone has their own opinion on if they prefer Pikmin games with or without caves, but the benefits they offer are undeniable. They allow for greater variety in area design, the break-in time limit offers a nice temporary change of pace, and putting aside any sort of game design critique, it's just plain exciting to assemble a squad and see what dangers await you underground. We also can't discount the possibility that the next trailer, especially if we end up getting it in June, 1 month prior to release, could be a story trailer that gives a bit more context as to what's actually going on in this game. It would be good to get something that sets the stakes, giving us more clarification of this new crew's purpose, and getting the remaining captains' names would also be nice. The reveal of castaways in the last trailer suggests that Pikmin 4's plot might be a rescue mission. But is that the only reason we're here on the planet? Before launch, we're going to need to see a bit more about the plot. More context is especially important for the casual consumer, the person who's not already familiar with what Pikmin games are all about. For this reason, I think the next trailer will provide greater detail on the narrative, especially since I don't think we've seen what Pikmin 4's biggest story hook is quite yet. In terms of gameplay, we've already seen some smart quality of life adjustments, like the Pikmin Type and number indicators on the aiming cursor, for example. And there are sure to be more new features and tweaks that will change how we play Pikmin. Reading between the lines here, I'm willing to say that the changes between Pikmin 3 and 4 could be even bigger and more impactful than the ones between 2 and 3. Based on how seemingly long this game has taken to develop, and the fact that it got an intro from Miyamoto himself during a Nintendo Direct, something that is extremely rare, suggests Pikmin 4 is a game he is particularly proud of. He's not only the Pikmin creator, but also one of the most storied names of all time when it comes to innovative game design. With Pikmin 4 getting a personal introduction from the man himself, I think it's safe to assume he's done something really cool with Pikmin. He even explicitly notes how he's worked to simplify controls in order to make it even easier to focus on the core elements of Pikmin gameplay. I'm extremely curious to see what these changes are, and hopefully our next trailer will go into more detail. Judging by the way Miyamoto is talking about it here, Pikmin 4 could be the most hardcore strategy title the series has seen thus far, and that is a super enticing prospect. But we can't just have an information overload. Any good trailer needs some action too, something to get people excited. And this is why I think new enemies, and probably at least one new boss, are definite for the next trailer. There will almost certainly be new combat scenes that show off fights against new enemy species. Maybe these little guys from the last trailer. And while a look at some new enemy types is exciting enough, it's safe to say that a new trailer will probably show off a boss or two as well. These are the most exciting cinematic encounters in the game, so it only makes sense that they would show up in a trailer designed to make people excited. We'll definitely see at least one new boss, but if you ask me, I hope that's all we'll see. Bosses are one of the most exciting things to discover for yourself. Unexpected encounters like the beady longlegs or the water wraith are a few from Pikmin history that come to mind. These are priceless moments in Pikmin games, and that's due in no small part to the sheer surprise and suspense of them. Seeing too much ahead of time in trailers might run the risk of spoiling these kind of encounters in Pikmin 4, but I trust Nintendo not to go overboard. Finally, we can't forget that the last trailer ended on sort of a cliffhanger with the night mode tease. These shots of the planet's surface at night suggest this game will have some sort of nighttime mechanic, but provided no real details other than that. If this does in fact mean we'll be exploring the planet at night, I think it's safe to assume we'll end up seeing more of that in the next trailer. Night mode is looking like one of the biggest new features added to the game, and if we get a few new shots of it in action, or maybe some explanation as to why we'll be visiting the planet at night in the first place, that would do a lot to build hype and help differentiate Pikmin 4 from previous entries in the series. Right now, with the lack of details we have, night mode is truly a mystery, and everyone has different theories as to what exactly it will be. Our next trailer could be when we find out before experiencing it for ourselves on July 21st. But before we get to July, we should definitely expect to see something. A month before release, so mid-June, seems like the most probable time to expect news. But with Pikmin 4 being the only first-party Nintendo title we know about for the second half of the year, there could be a world where we get a look sooner than that, especially if their slate is already jam-packed with games to show off during a June Direct presentation. They're no stranger to simply dropping a trailer on us via Twitter, so we really do need to be prepared for anything at any time. I'm hoping for a new trailer soon to rejuvenate the Pikmin conversation as we continue to count down the days until release. And if you're as excited as I am, then consider subscribing to this channel for more Nintendo content all the way up to and through the release of Pikmin 4. Thanks as always for watching.